Pockets are to men like chocolate is to women. Too much is never enough, and the more you have, the happier you are. Let's talk about that. Here's your armed citizen meme of the week. Screen cap it, crop it, and send it to everyone you know.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Now, let's get on with the content. Normally, the meme of the week is a random draw from my pool of memes. This one was picked special. EDC, or everyday carry, is one of the most intimate and personal things a man does for himself. Women have EDC too, however, their needs are different, and I can't speak about the contents of their quantum singularities.
Oh, honey, there's that dress I love. Can you hold this?
Yes.
I can't prove it, however, I think pockets were invented for men to have EDC besides their sling bags. And the contents have changed over the centuries. The contents change even today, depending upon where we're going and the conditions. For example, I cannot carry my primary EDC kit into an airport. TSA agents would get very nervous over most of the items in my pockets. Also, our EDC evolves over time. The EDC of a 20-year-old man is not the same as the EDC for a man in his 50s. The contents evolve due to several factors, such as age, I just mentioned, what kind of job we have, and where we live, such as rural versus urban. I cannot tell you, you must have this thing in your EDC. All I can do is show you my EDC and explain why I carry them. It is up to you to decide what to carry or not, or pick an alternative item that suits you better. For lack of a better term, I have 3 levels of EDC. Level 1 is what is on my person at all times, TSA notwithstanding. Level 2 is what is easily removable, but still can be close at hand. This is the fisherman's vest that I use for my primary level 2 EDC. If for some reason the vest is inappropriate or overly cumbersome, I have a shoulder sling bag, which has about 90% of these items, and some things are slightly different because it's different conditions. If you end up with a 7-pound vest like I have, you critically need to balance your items. Too much on one side and you'll start walking around like Quasimodo. Too much to the front pockets might cause you to slouch. Balance the items left and right, front and back, high and low, so you can walk normally. I keep my level 3 bag in my vehicle because it is my get home bag. Since I frequently travel up to several hours from my home to do my job, in case there was a regional disaster or worse while I am traveling and my vehicle cannot get me home, I have a backpack, hiking boots, and other accoutrements so I can walk home and have the reasonable amount of equipment that I would need in that kind of situation. My level 3 bag is not going to be covered in this video, maybe in another one. If anyone from my company's HR is watching, I just want to put right out here that I comply at all times with all company policies about weapons regarding my work and my fleet vehicle. So, let's get on with it.
Here she comes! For what we're about to receive, may we all be truly thankful.
All right, level 1 EDC, what I always have on my person. I'm going to start off with my wallet. This is a Travax wallet. It's an RFID resistant wallet, and it is expandable because you use the paracord to expand or contract this. It's got a money clip on this side and a positive release so you can go ahead and pull things out. Now, one special thing I always keep in here is this. This is a little card that I printed with my 3D printer, and I use some painter's tape to keep it in place, but I keep $6 golden. So no matter what, I have $6 on me, and I just use tape on both sides to make sure that those coins don't fall out. They're not latched in. Second thing is a man's keys. These are all my work keys. This is for my nighttime medications because I'm old. And then this right here is called a Key Smart. And it is also an expandable key ring. And you use spacers to space them apart so they can go in layered like this, or you cannot use the spacers and they would look something like that. It's really your choice. Nothing complex about that. Next comes a tactical pen. I have had this for several years. I'm currently working on the 5th refill for this. And this doubles, because it is a tactical pen, it doubles as a Kubotan. I have sharp ends at both ends, and it is knurled so I can always have a firm grip. I have a glass breaker on this end, and then if you can see the little divots in the top here, those are known as DNA collectors. In other words, if I have to defend myself and forcefully insert this into another person, upon extraction, that will have blood and flesh. Another thing this can do is the tip here will actually screw off where you have a small cavity inside, and if you are so inclined, you might be able to put a miniature handcuff key in there. The next thing is a watch. It's always good to know what time it is. Now, I have selected an Invicta self-winding watch for several reasons. One, no battery, so that can't go dead. Second, if there's a severe enough EMP pulse, this will not go dead. If it doesn't move for 18 hours, the watch spring runs out. But if it's on my wrist and I don't move in 18 hours, I probably won't move again. Now, the important thing here about a analog watch is if you orient your hour hand to the sun, point it to the sun, you can split the difference between the hour hand and the 12. And that split the difference shows you south. So obviously the opposite of that is north. This is a very rough compass, so if don't know where I am, I can at least tell which way north and south are. I also carry a Zippo lighter. Thankfully, I've never acquired the tobacco habit. However, my father did, and he carried a Zippo lighter to feed his habit. Mine's a little different. I use the butane powered double burner Zippo, and I don't have to worry about the lighter fluid running dry. I've been running for about 6 months on this charge of butane, and I am still going strong. So, fire is good.
Wow!
I use this all the time, and this also can fall under my work tools, but this is a rechargeable flashlight. I can use a USB-C port to recharge the flashlight. I have a magnetic rim and the activation switch here. And I have, of course, the front light, and then I have a side light. So I can stick this on the inside of a piece of equipment and have light so I can see what's going on while I repair equipment. And of course, because I repair equipment, I must have parts in boxes. And the best way for me to open boxes is with these tools. So I carry one as a backup, but this is my primary box opener. It is a 2-inch blade. It is a solid and serrated. I found serrated gets me into boxes a whole lot better, and I keep it clipped on my belt. This is very well used, and I've had to straighten the bend several times because sometimes this gets spread out a little too far. This other one is also a box opener. However, in a defensive situation, I can use it as an rat's brass knuckle, and with a simple flick of my thumb, the blade comes in and out. Here is a defensive tool that I always carry. It is what I euphemistically call hot sauce, and I call it hot sauce because it uses the same capsaicin as some people who like really hot food. And technically, this does have to be food grade because you are expected to spray this into a person's eyes and mouth for maximum effect. I don't know how well the oleoresin transport liquid for the capsaicin would go, and I'm really in no hurry to check. I don't like hot food that much. While I am on my personal time and only in Tennessee, I also carry a collapsible baton. You have to attend a class in order to carry a certification card. And again, this is only good in Tennessee. The other states I frequently travel to, Mississippi and Arkansas, do not allow for a civilian possession of batons. Last but not least, I carry a notepad. Now, this particular one is a moleskin, and you can buy this in a 3-pack for about $20. And I actually have this do double duty. I keep short-term notes that I got to remember and look up maybe a little later and not past that. And then if I have a honeydew or other thing I have to get done, I write it on this side. I have no need for a write when wet paper, so that's why I don't use that. And I also don't like the flip tops, so this is the best book I can carry. And that's the end of my level 1. To start off with my level 2, what's in my vest, I'm going to start off with my work tools. And of course, the first work tool, which I'm not going to show you, is my company ID. Other than that, I have this. This is a Craftsman miniature screwdriver set. I have 5 Phillips, I have 5 standard, and I have 8 different sized Torx drivers. I use this for times when it's a very simple fix and I don't have to pull out my full tool kit. The next tool is a pair of slip joint pliers. I like this because all I have to do is press the button and it will go ahead and slide. I don't have to open it up and find the gap. It's got a lot more fine tuning, shall we say, so I can get a hold of the occasional screw or nut to remove it. I also carry one of these. This is called a carbon fiber tool, and it has several functions. I have a sharp end for probing. I have a hook here so I can grab something, and then I have a chiseled end for pushing certain things. Now, being made of carbon fiber, this is non-conductive, so I can use this on live equipment. And I frequently use this end. In fact, this guy is in need of replacement because the chisel tip there is very well worn. This is always something important to carry. It's a basic Sharpie. And if I need to make a mark on something that the pen may not make a mark on, there you go. And if you found something that's been scribbled out in Sharpie, in order to get rid of the Sharpie, scribble more Sharpie on it, and then before the solvent that keeps that ink liquid dissipates, merely wipe it off. Last but not least, for my work tools, I keep a 6-foot Craftsman tape measure because there are times I have to know the dimensions of something, and this is the best way to do it. My next group is my medical equipment, and I actually have major medical and minor medical.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the content so far. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, please let me know by hitting that like button. When you do that, it helps get this content to others and inspires me to keep producing content. While we're clicking on things, hit that subscribe button to help grow this channel and turn on notifications so you know when one of my new videos shows up. I appreciate all comments, so please tell me if you think I'm spot on or way off. If you really like this video, hit share and post it on your social media. Okay, back to me.
The first item on my major medical is an IFAK, or individual first aid kit. This is a Warrior Poet Society IFAK. It's meant to be in a sleeve that has MOLLE, so it can go on your belt or the back of your vest. And you can either use this tab or these trauma shears to pull it out of that sleeve. The trauma shears are very positively held, and when we flip it over like this, we can hold this open, and we find out I have some compressed gauze, I have some Curlex, I keep a couple pair of nitrile gloves, some bleed stop, a couple of chest seals, and last but not least, a nasal pharyngeal tube. If someone has sustained damage to their face and are having trouble breathing, you take the lubricant here, spread it on this part of the tube, and you actually shove it into their nose and through their sinus. It is uncomfortable, it is not painful, and I highly suggest, as practice, you go ahead and buy several of these so you can practice. This is not a usual tool that someone has in their kit. And it all folds up just like this. The next thing is a cat tourniquet, and the Sharpie also works very well, putting the time on here. So learn how to use a tourniquet and make sure you know everything you need to know about how to use it. Yes, this one's well worn. I am trying to get a replacement, but this is a basic emergency blanket, and keep someone warm if they start going into shock. Nothing special about that. The last two items I'm going to talk about in my major medical is glucose gel and Narcan. Glucose gel is for someone having a diabetic emergency. Either they have too much sugar in their bloodstream or not enough. In either case, the best treatment for you as a first responder is to go ahead and give them some. You take a little dab and you rub it on the gums inside of their mouth. If they have a high blood sugar and they're experiencing difficulties because of that, this will not make it worse. However, if they have a critically low blood sugar and they are unconscious or semi-conscious, the little bit to the gum can bring them around enough that you can put some more on their tongue or in their gums again and get their blood sugar up to the point where they are lucid. Narcan is something everybody should carry because you never know when you're going to encounter someone with an opioid emergency. And I'm very sad to say that this is a not uncommon occurrence. And all you got to do is it's a mister and it goes into their nose and it will immediately counteract any opioid in their system. Now we get to the minor medical. And with the minor medical, first of all, I have a snack bag that I keep a piece of cardstock in to help make sure it doesn't get crushed. And I keep a variety of tools and first aid supplies in here. So first of all, I have a bunch of regular adhesive bandages. I also have some larger adhesive bandages. I keep a couple of doses of hydrocortisone cream. This is for someone who has a severe itch, or you can put this on a wound such as a scrape to help in the healing. I also keep some butterfly bandages, so if there is a gash or something, this will help keep it closed. If I need to sterilize an area, I have a couple of iodine cotton swabs. And what you do here is you break one end, and the iodine in the tube here will flow into the cotton tip, and you use the cotton tip to apply the iodine to the wound to help sterilize it. I also keep single-use lubricating eye drops. Very simply, a lot of people get dry eyes or they get something in their eye and they need to flush it out. Great way to do this, and they're disposable. Last but not least, someone's having a minor dental emergency, oral pain gel. All right. So that's I guess my miniature or minor medical IFAC. Now we get into these guys. These are travel tubes of painkillers, but I have repurposed them. I have painkillers. I have allergy because I have a lot of allergies, and because I'm old and my intestinal system likes to get upset very easily, I keep these. In the same pocket I keep these, I also keep a pair of tweezers. Yes, I've had to pluck splinters out of my own fingers because of doing my job. I also keep some chapstick because my lips dry out quite easily. And I also have a different kind of eye drops. This is one that was told that I should use by my optometrist. And because I wear glasses, I need lens wipes. And I carry plenty of these because I quite often encounter someone who also has very dirty eyeglasses. So I just tear one off and give it to them, let them restore their eyesight. Moving on to the miscellaneous things. First of all, I carry a small battery. This was given to me by a prior job. And I use a triple-headed cable, lightning, micro USB, and USB-C. I can plug this in and I can recharge one phone once with this battery. That's all you really need. I keep a second flashlight. Actually, this can also be used as a work tool as it has a magnetic end, and I can also clip it to my clothes and have a forward facing light as well. This is powered by a CR123A battery, so it's good for a long time and it has a lot of power in it. This is something else that I printed, and it is a micro SD card holder. It will hold 4 cards here, plus a micro SD adapter and one more in there. Between these 5, I have a little over a terabyte worth of storage. One I actually keep personal documents on, so if I am having a medical issue far from home or I need other critical documents, they are encrypted on one of these. And I'm working on making a little sign that I can plaster to that so they can, whoever finds it knows knows that the information is there and how to retrieve it. And if the computer that I am having to deal with cannot handle one of these, I also keep the USB adapter that can handle either type of media. I also keep with me a body cam. I had an encounter with a Karen a few years ago, and it just so happened I had a dash cam on the vehicle I was driving, and thankfully the camera supported my end of the story and not her incoherent ravings. So the only thing I wish about this is the clip was on the front, so this could go in the pocket instead of outside. But hey, you can't get everything you want or need. I also have backup fire, and I use the long one because I don't like the fire being right there next to my thumb. I also keep my own version of a fidget spinner. This is basically an 11-inch loop of paracord and a nut to provide weight. And I can put this in my fingers and spin it back and forth so it can keep my hands occupied when I have nothing to do at that particular moment. And that's the only use that I use that for. This is something that everyone should carry. I have had to use this more than once. This doesn't look like a lot. You probably can't tell, but this is 40 squares of vacuum-packed toilet paper. Unfortunately, in my travels, several times I have had to make an emergency pit stop, and after resolving the urgent issue, I find out there is no paperwork for me to clean up the mess. So I keep this with me and vacuum pack so it doesn't fall apart or get damaged before I need it. And then for real comfort, I actually also vacuum pack a couple of tea bags. Now, I got two different kinds. I got an English breakfast by Twinnings if I want to be mellow. This one right here is a Celestial Seasonings Morning Thunder. If you've ever seen the Morning Thunder box, it's got a buffalo on it because after you have some of this, you feel like you got run over by a buffalo. And last but not least, I keep emergency cash. Now, this is about $120, and it is vacuum packed as well. I vacuum pack it like some people used to when we needed the physical credit card for any kind of transaction. They would put their credit card in a block of ice and keep it in the freezer. So they had to, if they had an impulse to use the card, they had to either pull it out and wait for it to melt or go through the effort to bust up the block. This is the same way. If I have loose cash in my pocket, I am sorely tempted to spend it on drinks or snacks at one of the many rest stops that or truck stops that I frequent. So vacuum packed for my protection. That way, if I really do need money and card won't do, I got cash. That consists of my level 2 EDC. And there you have it. Everything I have showed you, I use on a regular basis or have had a specific need for that item. And if someone else needs it, then, I become their hero. Stay safe, stay bullet free. Tell your family you love them every chance you get, and y'all have yourselves a wonderful day.
If you made it this far, thank you. If you liked this content, please hit the like button to show your support. Help me get the word out by subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to turn notifications on so you know when I post new content. If you think this content would help your friends, the share button helps you get it out to your social media. Comments mean a lot to me, good or bad. Please leave one. All right, go forth and have a most excellent day.